Hello, college biology. Welcome to Carbohydrates. This is our first video in our carbohydrate series. So let's get to it. Here are some examples of carbohydrates, and if we look closely, we can identify the atoms in carbohydrates from this representative sample, and we'll notice that, just like lipids, they are composed of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Now, unlike lipids, which were primarily carbon and hydrogen with just a little bit of oxygen, oxygen here has a more prominent role. You'll notice right away that every single carbohydrate here has at least one double bond between carbon and oxygen. But there's more to it. There's a secret to carbohydrates, and it's in their name. That name, carbohydrate, is from the words carbon and water. And we know the formula for water is H2O, and that's the trick. Carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen in a carbohydrate are in a ratio of 1 carbon to 2 hydrogen to 1 oxygen. CH2O, carbohydrate. So the name gives you the formula for the ratio of the atoms in the carbohydrate. So for every carbon, there's going to be 1 oxygen. There's an even amount, give or take, 1 or 2 on rare occasions. So there's going to be an even amount of carbon and oxygen in these molecules, and we can double check that here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbon, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 oxygen. So there's that. 1 to 2 to 1 carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Now, the second part is that they are polar, and that has to do with how much oxygen they have. If all of these oxygen are having polar covalent bonds, then the carbon has a partial positive region, the oxygen has a partial negative, partial positive for hydrogen, partial negative for the oxygen, partial positive for carbon. So there's many partial charges in the molecule, so these are polar covalent molecules. So carbohydrates have a composition of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen in a 1 to 2 to 1 ratio, and they are polar. Now, carbohydrates are divided into 3 subcategories. Those are monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. We're going to go over monosaccharides first, and that's actually what we're seeing here. All of these are monosaccharides. They're chains of carbon, and each carbon is bound to at least 1 oxygen, and then we fill the rest of the possible bonds with hydrogen. Monosaccharides can come in 2 forms. All of these are in their linear form, where the carbons make a chain. But it turns out they can also be found in a ringed form, which is illustrated here. So every single monosaccharide can find itself in a ring form. Well, I don't know, maybe the really short ones, like the 2 carbon and 3 carbon ones can't, but most of them can. And so when they switch forms between their linear form and their ring form, they go through a process called isomerization. And that comes from the root word isomer, which means equal sharing. And the idea behind the word isomerization is that these are all the same atoms that are in a different shape. And that's all there is to it. So we have one isomer, the linear form here. It undergoes isomerization, and it becomes another isomer, the ringed form here. And you can kind of keep track of how they link. This carbon here is the pink carbon here, and it bends around and binds with that oxygen there, so you can kind of track it all. But the whole point is that the long chain can curve around and link to itself to give us our ringed form. And that's a general property of monosaccharides. Let's go through some examples of monosaccharides. One example is glucose, which is right here, and glucose is blood sugar. Glucose is a short-term energy storage molecule that animals use, and plants use it too. So glucose is a short-term energy storage molecule, and it is the same as blood sugar. Now down here we have another one, fructose. It's still a monosaccharide. It's a linear, and it can isomerize to a ring, and it's commonly found in fruit, hence the name fructose. Now, one more thing about monosaccharides. They are monomers, which means they can be linked together to make larger molecules, larger chains of molecules. We're going to talk more about monomers and polymers in the next video, so let's review what we've got. Carbohydrates are made of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen in a 1 to 2 to 1 ratio. That's what the name means. They are polar. They come in 3 divisions. We've only talked about one of them, the monosaccharides. The monosaccharides are single sugars. They can have a linear form or a ring form. They can isomerize between the linear and ring form. And they are monomers, which are repeating links in a longer molecule chain. And we're going to talk more about that in future videos. Now, our examples are glucose, which is the same as blood sugar, and it's a short-term energy storage molecule, and fructose, which is fruit sugar. I hope this helps. Struggle well.